how would we theoretically lose that oversight of AI? How would that happen? And what would be some theoretical outcomes of that?
Well, I think, okay, it could have happened, let's call it a year and a half ago before we had any kind of governance or permissioning tools, right? It was a bit of the Wild West then. You could say, like, here's a function call and it just does some stuff. Now we and others have built these more clear governance structures where, okay, I'm going to call a function from an LLM. That function has certain bounds of what it can and cannot do, and certain data that it can read or can modify. All of that has to be tracked, and there has to be a lineage associated with it. So you have to be much more explicit about what the model can and cannot do. So I think that's how we prevent anything going off the rails, is that we just lock it down and put the appropriate controls around it. The scenario where something bad happens, I mean, there's always going to be bad actors in the world. But I think within a company, if they learn the proper practices, which I actually think that a lot of big enterprises are doing that now, especially with tools like Databricks, they are seeing the importance of, like, wait, now we need a centralized governance structure. We need to explicitly say what these agents are doing. If I have a customer support agent, like, it shouldn't have access to HR data, for instance, or marketing data, or it shouldn't be able to, like, change something on the website. Like, these are very clear boundaries that these things have to have. So just being really clear about that. And that becomes, like, actually a proper schema. It's not something that's probabilistic in any way. So to answer your question, how does it go off the rails? Well, I think if you don't do that, you start to have unfettered access. I think we're already entering a regime now where I think more of the content on the internet will be machine produced rather than human produced. It's already happening. I would probably say we crossed that point of more than 50% is machine produced. So a bad scenario of this is something we call model collapse. It's basically that LLMs are continuing to scrape this stuff, train on it, and then learn stupid stuff that other LLMs spit out rather than a real ground truth of the world. That's a real proper scenario that is going to happen very soon. What results from that? I don't know, honestly. Like, I think this hallucination problem could potentially get worse, or, it could get more and more complicated to detect because maybe even your evaluation data sets have some of these non-grounded facts in them. So I think grounding things to some sort of reality is actually important. And, at Databricks, we've taken the tack of, let's leverage what people have built for data. We have this medallion architecture where we talk about, like, bronze, silver, gold data that's been cleaned and, determined to be as true as possible. That's not just relevant now. It's extremely important.